Councilmember Ascendus,
Here.
Councilmember Morales.
Jennifer,
Oh,
Councilmember Morales will not be able to make it this evening.
oh, okay. And Councilmember Deanda. Here. And Mayor Stevens.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Sanders, can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Wow, that was pretty great. Thank you, everybody. I know. Agree. Okay, so I'm going to check in with our city attorney. Do we have anything to report on closed session?
There was nothing.
Nothing to report. Okay, thank
there we
you.
go. There was nothing. Thank
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to move into our first item, which is a special order of the day. This is a really, really important one, and I'm so excited to be able to talk about some young people from our city that did some really great things. So we're going to do a proclamation today recognizing local soccer players for their success at the 2025 FM F7 Mundial Juvenil Tournament. Tonight, I have the great honor of recognizing 3 outstanding young athletes from our community: Jesus Reyes, Salvador Cortez, and Marcos Hernandez, for their incredible achievements on the international stage. These young men were selected along with 6 other players from neighboring cities to represent our region at the 2025 FMF7 Mundial Juvenil Tournament held in León, Guanajuato, Mexico. Competing in the 2016 boys division, they faced teams from around the world. Their team remained undefeated through 5 matches and secured the championship victory against Turkey with a final score of 6-4. Jesus, Salvador, and Marcos have been playing together for 3 years and are proud members of the Fault Line FC organization. Through their teamwork, determination, and humble grace, they represent not just our team, but also their families, their coaches, and the entire city of Hollister. It is with great pride that I, Roxanne Stevens, the mayor of Hollister, on behalf of the city council and our entire community, officially recognize these 3 young athletes for their exceptional dedication and success. Congratulations, Jesus, Salvador, and Marcos. You made Hollister proud. Let's give these young men a round of applause, and can you come up? Can we have these 3 young men come up to the front? Can we have these 3 young men come up to the front? And maybe either their parents or their coaches. You guys want to come up here? Do you guys want to just come up here? So I'm going to ask either the coach or a parent to come up with them. How's that? Okay, I'm going to come down and join you.
Hello. I am Coach Jesus. Super proud to be able to coach these boys. They did represent Hollister and their communities and their families well. It was an honor to see them live playing in León, Guanajuato against the opposing teams. It was fun to see them challenge themselves and challenge each other to play to their fullest potential. They represented very well. One of the things that I told them, our rule number one as an organization is have fun and play hard. And the thing that really inspired them was me telling them, you're representing your families and your community, right? And that struck gold for them. They played with grit, they played with integrity, and they didn't stop the entire time, right? And it showed in the final score and bringing home the gold. So super proud.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you. Thank you, boys. Good job. Thank you for coming today. So continued success in the rest of your soccer career and the rest of your school and with your family. So thank you again for coming. We appreciate you guys being here. We're super proud of you. Okay, bye. Okay, that was super fun. Okay, so we're going to move on to the agenda with the rest of the agenda. So remember we talked about, okay, remember we had thumbs up, so we're going to listen. Okay, thank you guys. So our next proclamation is honoring the Hawaiian Spaniard community. Tonight we take a moment to honor the deep and lasting contributions of the Hawaiian Spaniard community in Hollister. Between 1907 and 1913, thousands of immigrants from Andalusia and Extremadura, Spain, first came to Hawaii to work on sugar plantations. Many years later, settling in California, with Hollister becoming a central hub of Hawaiian Spaniard life. Here they worked in agriculture, built neighborhoods, supported local institutions, and blended Spanish and Hawaiian traditions, enriching the cultural fabric of our city. Their descendants continue to shape Hollister today as farmers, educators, business owners, and civic leaders. We also recognize the Spanish Hawaiian Heritage Association, which will host its cultural and academic conference this September to celebrate and preserve this remarkable history. On behalf of the City of Hollister, I extend our deepest gratitude to the Hawaiian Spaniard community and their best wishes for a successful conference. Do we have a representative from this group? Do we have a representative? Okay, well, we're going to hang on to the proclamation and we'll make sure that that group gets the recognition. Okay, thank you for that. So our next item is recognition of National Recovery Month proclamation. Tonight, I am proud to declare September 2025 as National Recovery Month in the City of Hollister. Mental health and substance use challenges continue to affect individuals and families across our community. But there is hope. Recovery is possible, and with the right treatment and support, organizations like Sun Street Centers are making a difference. In the last year alone, their programs in Hollister served over 100 men and women, offering care, structure, and the resources needed for long-term sobriety. Recovery doesn't happen in isolation. It happens through community, compassion, and commitment. Families are breaking cycles of addiction and rebuilding lives. So tonight, we honor those in recovery, the providers who support them, and the strength it takes to seek help. On behalf of the City of Hollister, I officially proclaim September as National Recovery Month and encourage all residents to support treatment and recovery efforts in our community. Congratulations. Do we have a representative? I'm gonna come down there. I just want to say one thing before I come down there and give you the proclamation, then I'll let you say a few words. I just want all of you that are here that are part of Sun Street Center know that I am a social worker, and so this is a topic that's near and dear to my heart. It's something that I've worked on my entire adult life, and I've known many people who have gone through Sun Street Centers, both in Salinas and here, and have gotten incredible support, and because of that, their lives are above and beyond anything they could have ever imagined when they were using. So thank you so much for all of your work, and just know that you have a friend in the city of Hollister and especially in the city council. So thank you so much for being here. Go ahead.
My name's Letitia Peck, and I'm the program director for women's residential here in Hollister. And I have worked in substance abuse for over 11 years, and I'm super grateful for the job that I have. It makes me emotional to see the lives that are changed through recovery, not only Sun Street Centers, but across the board. So I'm going to let some of my ladies share a little bit about like what Sun Street Centers has done for them, so you can hear like where their lives were and where their lives are today. Do you want to go first, Julie?
And then if I can just ask that we keep our comments really brief
Okay.
as we move along. But please, we want to hear your story, but just kind of keep it.
Okay,
Okay,
I will
thank
go
you
as
so
quick
much.
as I can. It's just that Sun Street has offered me so much that I have to keep it really short. And I
Yes.
do understand. My name is
Do
Jamie.
your best, I
My name
know.
is Jamie Jordan. Thank you. Good evening, board. And I am a recovering alcoholic and drug addict. I am currently a client at Sun Street. Let's just begin by, first of all, the home is beautiful. It is from inside and out. I'm so grateful and I'm so blessed. From staff to counselors, they're genuine, they're sincere. You can tell they go above and beyond what they're expected. I have a therapist that I'm working with. I'm so grateful for her. Her name is Cynthia. I got my first session with her. I get 7 more sessions with her. That's an hour. That's very crucial because not only when the drugs go away, there's more underlying issues that we discover. And so with we're busy from you in order to become a resident at Sun Street, you have to pass KP, which is kitchen prep. So we're up at 4:45 in the morning, and our day doesn't end until 9 o'clock. So the structure, like you had said, the structure, it's very crucial. I'm able to coping skills, triggers. We have groups from seeking safety to what's anger management groups. Another thing is we go outside to NA and AA meetings. I'm fortunate I just got a sponsor. She came Sunday to work with me, to work the steps. She's got a master's degree. I'm so blessed. I feel safe. I am 41 days clean today. I'm very, very, very thankful. I owe it all to Sun Street for sure. Tish Peck is amazing. She works really hard. She's dedicated. You can tell she's very genuine. She loves her job. We laugh. We have belly laughs even there. I haven't had a belly laugh in years. The girls are amazing. I'm fortunate enough to have 11 other women there with me that I'm able to work through this so I don't feel alone. I love it there. I'm looking forward to it. I've been there 41 days, I think. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit mixed up, but I'm excited to finish and graduate and coin out, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, board.
Thank you so much, and congratulations. Congratulations.
Hi, I won't take up too much time, but my name is Clara. I'm a 28-year-old who suffers with substance abuse, and like Jamie, I came a day just before her, and they, at Sun Street, they gave us more than, a place to get sober. They give us back our self-worth. So it's a place that gives us so much more than just sobriety. Little by little, with their groups that might seem silly, like self-care, they give us so much more of ourselves, because as women, we suffer with losing ourselves in those drugs and alcohol. So I'm just really grateful to be here, really grateful that we get little parts of ourselves back each day in those groups. So thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you. And then can I have Jamie come back up as I give you the proclamation? Continued success. Thank you. Okay, so those were some great proclamations. I'm super excited for all of them. So we're going to move on with our next item, 5.4, presentation regarding AB 1466, restrictive covenant modifications. So go ahead. Go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and members of the council. My name is Jacqueline Taylor. I am the Senior Deputy for the San Benito County Clerk Recorder's Office. Today I am here to share a project that we are working on to remove racially restrictive language from property records. This is a crucial initiative under Assembly Bill 1466, also known as Restrictive Covenant Modification Act. To understand the importance of this work, we need to look at history. Beginning in the 1930s, many deeds in the United States, including California, contained racially restrictive language, preventing people from owning property based on their race. The Federal Housing Authority used to encourage adding the restrictive language, claiming it would protect values. The restricted covenants made it illegal for people of color to purchase, lease, and even rent homes in white communities. It wasn't until 1948 that the legality of these restrictions was first challenged with a Supreme Court case, Shelley versus Kramer, which ruled that racial restrictive covenants were unenforceable. However, the practice didn't fully end until the Fair Housing Act of 1968 that reinforced these protections. This landmark of civil rights legislation prohibited discrimination in housing based on race, color, sex, religion, national origin, disability, or marital status. Despite these challenges, the discriminatory language remains and are still found in property records across San Benito County. Here is a sample of one of the properties on Hayden Street. For example, this deed states, shall not be occupied by any person not of the Caucasian race, and shall not be occupied by any person of the Mexican race or any person of the American Indian race. Our project directly addresses this historical injustice. And Assembly Bill 1466 is a California law that was enacted in 2021. It provides a clear path forward that requires county recorders to identify, redact, and re-record documents with this unlawful language. Any person can request a modification through a formal process that is reviewed by county council. You can have homeowners, title companies, real estate professionals, and any uninterested party. Counties are mandated to implement this program and report progress to the state. The goal is to eliminate the restrictive language and to promote fair housing. The modification process is very simple. It's a 4-step procedure. First, we identified the document. Like I mentioned before, anybody can bring a document to us that thinks it has a restrictive language on their legal description. Second, the recorder will review and identify the text to confirm if it's discriminatory. Third, county council will approve and confirm that in fact the language is discriminatory. Fourth, the document would get re-recorded with the offensive language redacted. The original document is kept for historical purposes, and new redacted version serves as the official property record. Our vision is to take an innovative academic approach to this project. We plan to create an interactive map that the public can access to see where these restrictive covenants were concentrated. This will visually illustrate the history of housing discrimination and the demographic shifts that have occurred over time. We plan to partner with college students to draft and research paper that will analyze population demographics and other key data that are related to these restrictions. And of course, this entire project requires funding. This project is funded through a collection of $2 that comes from every recorded document. We started collecting this fee in 2022, and we're finally able to start the process. The primary expense is the contract, which is a third-party vendor that uses an AI technology to identify these documents. The second one, greatest expense, is labor. We need labor to redact, index, and verify each document, including county council. Other costs include technology, community outreach, mapping, and website development. In conclusion, our objective is to uphold legislative compliance and ensure our community's property records reflect the principles of equality and fairness we hold today, while recognizing history and learning from the past to prevent this repetition. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for that very important presentation and the important work. Do I have any questions from council or comments from council? Councilmember Resendez, go ahead.
Thank you. Sometimes we forget that our country was founded with principles of racism, sexism, classism. I mean, that was the norm, right? So it's kind of shocking to see that here in this day and age. I appreciate you guys doing this. I know that, you know, it costs money, and I appreciate and value the same values, honestly, that you guys are working towards. But I am a little bit curious. So this is a state law. It's Assembly Bill state law.
Correct.
You guys are only doing this with the records as far as housing?
Property records, deeds.
Property records, deeds.
Deeds.
Okay, I just
You don't
wanted
have
some
to be the
clarity on
property
that.
owner to make this request. Anybody that comes across this, we're actually encouraging real estate agents, because they're the ones that see this firsthand when they
Got it.
sell a property,
Got it.
that to read that legal description. This is found more often than not.
Okay.
So we're asking them to read the description, and if they find something, bring it to us so that we can update them.
Okay. Yeah, I really appreciate that. And then, yeah, I think that's it for now. Thank you
Okay.
so much for doing
Thank
that.
you.
Appreciate it.
Other questions, comments?
Well, it's
Go
about
ahead.
time is
It's
really
about
all I
time.
have to say. I mean, it took until 2021 for this process to begin. Took a little while to collect those $2 fees throughout all these documents. Thank you for doing this work. It's about time.
Thank you for that. Do we do public comments for these? You can. Any public comment cards for this item? Okay. Okay, thank you so much for that presentation. Appreciate all the hard work. Okay, so we're going to move on the agenda to our consent items. So
Mayor, if I may
Sorry, not
press
consent.
upon you to interrupt for just a second.
Sure.
Just for the sake of the public, I would like to pull item 9.3 for later this evening. William and I will be doing additional work with the consultant, and we'll return at a meeting in the very near future on that. So I just wanted to let you know I'd like to pull that.
For later in the say that again. Later in the
Yeah, at a very near future meeting. So we'll
Okay.
be working with the consultant
Okay.
right back.
Can we get a time certain on that? Like
Yes.
maybe second.
How about, October? Let's do the second meeting in October,
The 20th.
the
And-
20th.
And that was 9/3.
9.3, yes.
Okay. Okay. Great. Thank you for that.
And also, Mayor, before you go on to consent items, it's the public
I'm
comment
sorry,
period.
public comment. Thank you. Thank you. I did skip over that. Okay, so this is a time for public input on any items that are not on the agenda. So if you want to speak on an item that's not on the agenda, please bring a speaker card to our city clerk sitting up here. Come to the podium, state your name and the city for the records, and speak to the council on, about your issue. If you're joining by Zoom, please click on the bottom of your screen to raise your hand. If you're joining Zoom using a cell phone, press *9. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes with a maximum of 30 minutes per subject. Please note that state law prohibits the city council from discussing or taking action on items not on the agenda. City Clerk, do we have any public comments?
Yes, I have a speaker card for Robin Pollard.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, good evening, council. I do believe this is the first time I've come and spoken to this council. My name is Robin Pollard, and I've been an advocate for Park Hill for 30 years now. I've come down here and talk about Park Hill and how to make it better. And anyhow, so the southern access to Park Hill was removed last week, and I'm asking, begging that a new southern access to Park Hill gets put in. There used to be a road that went from the community center that zigzagged up the hill, and back in the late 60s, they decided to dump a bunch of truckloads of dirt over the edge and blocked that access. And over the years, we've managed to kind of put a footpath in there. But the old one that was up there, granted, it was in bad shape. The railing was off. The cement was crooked and sliding down the hills, but it was a path, and now it's been removed. So I'm asking that some access, southern access to Park Hill, be re-implemented. And since I'm here, I have to inquire why our flags were at half-mast. Was it because of Charlie Kirk? Is that the reason why? And did we lower the flags for the Minnesota people that were killed? So I don't know, this just seems so wrong on so many levels. And since I have a minute left, it's good to see that you're removing racial information off of deeds. That's my spiel for tonight, and I hope that we make access for Park Hill for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pollard. I appreciate all your comments. Thank you.
Our
Yeah.
next speaker is Jasmine Venegas.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Sorry I didn't know about the card process, but thank you for allowing me to speak. It's good to be here. My name is Jasmine Venegas. I am the government relations representative at PG&E covering the Central Coast Division, and I just wanted to come here tonight to meet you in person, put a face to a name. You've gotten my emails by this point, so you should be familiar with my email address and my name, but it's always nice to come in front of the council and introduce yourself in person. I'm the point of contact for elected officials and staff members. I've been in my role for under a year, and I've had the opportunity to meet with city staff, specifically administration and public works. And I look forward to meeting you all one-on-one at some point in the near future. As we work together moving forward, please think of me as a resource. If you have questions about anything or need to escalate any issues related to PG&E, I am your point of contact and am responsible for finding the information you need or connecting you with the right person. One of the main roles I play is updating you if we have significant power outages that affect your community. You can and should reach out to me for updates in these types of situations, and I am happy to help. That said, again, if you have time in the coming months, it would be great to meet one-on-one. So I do encourage you to find my number in my email signature, save it, reach out when you need, and don't hesitate. I look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Venegas. Appreciate your comments. Any other comments?
Those are all the speakers we have.
Okay, so we'll close public input. Now we will move to consent items, and any questions from the council, brief questions or comments on anything on consent items? Councilmember Resendez, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. So item 7.15, resolution approving the San Benito Urban Water Supply and Treatment Agreement with the San Benito County Water District. I think it directly relates to the other item that just got moved, and I'm going to ask that my colleagues withdraw it and then have it come back at the same time as well.
Let me check in with City Manager. Your thoughts on that? Are they related enough that we should probably hear them at the same time?
They are related, and it's your purview whether you would like to pull it.
And you just need consensus.
Okay. Okay. So can we get consensus? Okay. Okay, so we have thumbs up. I mean, it will give us more opportunity to explore the issues. These are very complicated issues related to water, and so I think I think it might be a good idea for all of us to try to do that. Okay, great. So we're going to pull that one and put it off to the same date. Did we, Jen? Did we say
October 20th.
October 20th meeting? So second meeting in October. We'll hear both of those. Any other items on the consent agenda that we need to talk about? Does anyone have any brief questions, comments? Not seeing any. Can we get a motion on the consent items?
Is there any public comment on these?
Sorry. Any public comment? Sorry about that.
There's no public comment for any of the
Okay,
consent
great. Thank
items.
you. Sorry about that. Can I get a motion on the consent?
Mayor Stevens. First off, I want to welcome the interim after this vote, Jim Pia, to the city of Hollister, and I would gladly move that we adopt the consent agenda as approved. Oh, my apologies. I would love to have the council adopt the agenda as presented by staff. Thank you.
Can
And
I
thank
get
you.
a second on that, please?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you for that. So, okay, so we're going to move on. That'll be part of our regular agenda. Okay, so let me make sure that I'm on the right page here. Okay, so we are moving on to item 8.1, introducing lobbying ordinance for the city of Hollister. May we have a staff report?
Yes, give me just 1 second. Okay, Jennifer Woodworth, City Clerk. I'm not going to have much of a presentation. You've already heard about the lobbyist ordinance. This is at the direction of the meeting on August 18th to go ahead and bring it back for a public hearing and introduction. So that's what we're here for today. No changes have been made since you previously saw it back in August. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Any questions or comments from the council members? Okay, no comments, no questions. Public comment?
We're going to go ahead and open the public hearing,
Public hearing?
and there are none.
Okay, thank you. Close the public hearing, and then back to the council. Any further discussion on that item? Any further direction?
We just need a motion to introduce it.
Motion?
I'll move to adopt.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? No one opposed. Okay, thanks for that. Okay, that was pretty easy. So now we're going to move on to our item related to an interim city manager agreement with Jim Pia. So can we get a staff report on this one, and then we'll introduce Mr. Pia.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So, as you may know, I did give the council notice that I would be leaving my position, and as part of that, we are having a recruitment underway to fill that position. However, we did receive direction to bring an interim forward. We have the good fortune of presenting for consideration Mr. Jim Pia. He brings over 40 years of municipal service to the table, in addition to 10 years as an interim city manager for the city of Salinas and serving as the assistant city manager for the city of Salinas. So he brings a tremendous background with him, and I believe that he'll do a fantastic job. And he is here for your consideration this evening. He's also in the audience as well.
And if I could add, per the government code, the proposed agreement is for the employment of Mr. Jim Pia as the interim city manager beginning September 22nd, 2025. Mr. Pia will not be allowed to work more than 960 hours per fiscal year because he's a CalPERS retired annuitant. And the pay rate is $134.86 per hour with no additional benefits or accrual of leave time.
Okay, thank you for that. Any questions from council? Any questions?
I just want to say, appreciate having you in here. Appreciate the help during this time where, you give us a little bit of time, a little bit of breathing room, and some good, solid, years of leadership to help us through this time as we look for another city manager. We're all going to miss Dave. He's a local Hollister guy, but Jim, you've you've got a lot of experience, and hopefully you can help us steward our town to another good place. So appreciate you throwing your hat in the ring.
Okay, great. Thank you for that, Vice Mayor. So I'm gonna, do you wanna go ahead or can I do public comment first? Can I check? Okay. Is there any public comment for this?
There are no public comments.
Okay,
this
no
item.
public comments. Okay, so I'm gonna bring it back to the council. Go ahead, Councilmember Resendez.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I'm obviously in favor. I said that earlier. I just want to say publicly, like, I was thoroughly impressed by your interview and your responses. It shows like how seasoned of a public servant you are. I'm really looking forward to working to you. I'm glad that you're stepping out of retirement to come help us. And on the other note, yeah, I am going to be very saddened when City Manager Marioni leaves us. I'll say it publicly, has been the best city manager that I've ever worked with in my tenure here. So he is going to be deeply missed, but he'll still be in our community, and we never know where our paths will cross again. But I appreciate you coming to help us, and then I look forward to working with you in the transition and getting to a more permanent position there as well. So if my colleagues approve this, which I'm assuming that we will, I just want to say congratulations to you and thank you for your service.
Yes, ditto. So let me get with that. Let's get a motion, and then I'll have you come and say a few words, Mr. Pia. So let's get a motion, and then I'll do some final words after your comments.
Now, Mayor Stevens,
Thank
I
you.
will make a motion.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh,
Did you want to say anything, Councilmember Deanda? Go ahead. I'm sorry, I skipped right over you.
I just want to say thank you for your willingness to step in and step up to the plate. We are a fun bunch, and we're just so happy that you're willing to work with us. And yeah, that's about it. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now I'll entertain a motion.
Thank you. At this time, I will go ahead and move to adopt item 9.1, consideration and approval of interim city manager agreement with Mr. Jim Pia.
And can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? None. Okay, so congratulations. Thank you. Come to the podium. Let's hear from you.
Thank you, Mayor and members of Council, for entrusting with me a short period of time to be with you. I look forward to it. I do want to thank you for this has all been compacted, and you guys went through a very thorough, I might say, but also a very efficient process. I want to thank David and Mary for their work. Various department folks I've already met. I did LifeScan here, kind of last minute. Thank you, Mary, for that. But I look forward for whether it's 3 months, 6 months, the entire time, rolling up my sleeves and working with you in collaboration and partnership with many of the staff I've already met. Some I haven't met, but I will meet, Jennifer and Sean. And so I look forward to it, and I thank you for this opportunity. And I now know that consensus means everyone with thumbs up. So
Right.
I learned that.
Right.
So thank you all.
Yes. Thank you, and congratulations. And yes, I just want to ditto what everybody has said, and was very impressed. And I think the thing that I'm most impressed with is not just your years of service, but also the fact that you were a close neighbor. You worked with some of our neighbors, so we understand each other pretty well, and I think that was a big plus. And also was very, very impressed with many of your answers and just you as an individual. So thank you so much. I look forward to spending more time to getting to know you and working together with you. And just remember that we're all here to help you. The department's heads are incredible people and great staff, so they'll be here to support you, but we all are here. As much as we are going to miss our Dave, we will miss him a lot, as my colleagues have said, but we will look forward to also working with you and getting to know you. So welcome, and thank you for stepping up.
Thank you, Mayor. And I was told his cell phone's not changing, so I'll remember that.
We might be blowing it up. Good. Thank you, Mr. P. I appreciate it. Okay, so now we're going to move on to 9.2 San Benito Street Traffic Calming Final Report. Can we have a staff report, please?
Good evening, Mayor, council members. William Vi, Public Works Director. The item before you here tonight is the final report for the San Benito Street traffic calming. On December 4th, 2023, City Council requested a traffic study be performed on San Benito Street from Hawkins to Nash Road to address complaints related to speeding and traffic. Project background. So this slide is San Benito Street, the existing conditions. You see highlighted there is Hollister High School, downtown Hollister, and then San Benito Street is the light blue, kind of right in the middle. That's the area of this study. Kimley Horn, the city contracted with Kimley Horn to evaluate the traffic calming needs of the corridor, and the study identified excessive vehicle speeds and pedestrian safety concerns as key issues along the corridor. This street is classified as a 2-lane road with sidewalk. Traffic data indicates 85th percentile speeds exceed the posted 30 mile per hour speed limit, and traffic volumes are consistent with a typical arterial street capacity. Oops, what? Okay, so we held 2 virtual public workshops in May and June, I believe it says June. Opportunity to present recommendations on San Benito Street and have the community share their comments. An online survey was also prepared to solicit community feedback on the concepts. The layout that was the final decision to move forward with the layout was option number 3. I'm sorry, I'm looking through my notes here. Option number 3, alternative number 3, with a center lane median, which includes narrowing vehicle lanes to 11 feet, adding a continuous 2-way left turn lane, installing raised medians and curb extensions at some intersections, and pedestrian crossings, and preserving driveway and parking access while providing pedestrian refuge areas. So this is basically the preferred option is Memorial. The upgrades on Memorial we did basically the same left turn lane that can use either way, and then the refuge areas for pedestrians with the rapid flashing beacons. So basically the same concept there. Here's another view of it. So the green areas are the bulb outs, which slows cars down when they make their turns because it's a little bit sharper of a turn. There's you can see the left turn lane median there in the middle. And then at the intersections, at some of the intersections, there's the raised median, and there's some flowers shown in this one here, some landscaping there. Staff recommends the City Council take no action at this time, pending the completion of the city's Complete Streets Plan. We're currently in the process of initiating a Complete Streets Plan through Safe Streets for All grant that the city was awarded. We intend on bringing back an agreement for a consultant to help us complete that plan at the October 6th City Council meeting. This corridor will be studied along with a multitude of other intersections and corridors throughout the city, focusing around schools, focusing on high traffic areas, wherever there's a lot of pedestrian, bicycle, and vehicular conflicts. The plan will be very extensive. It's about a 2-year timeline to complete the plan. This will take this study that we've already paid for, that will be reviewed in the Safe Streets for All plan. So we won't have to redo everything because we have a lot of the data here already. But that corridor will be included with the Safe Streets for All plan that we come up with in about 2 years, and that will be coming back to council. Another one of the reasons is there is some underground work that needs to be done, some sewer line replacement, water line replacements, things like that. We'd like to do that all at once, do all that first, then pave it, and then make these improvements on top so we don't have to go back in and do that. We don't currently have the funding sources for those projects, so by the time we get the Safe Streets for All plan done, hopefully we'll have the funding to get all that work done, and then we'll see what that plan comes up with as far as this corridor, and then move forward with the design and construction. And that's all for my presentation, but I'm here for any questions you may have.
Okay, great. Thank you for that, William. Any questions? Go ahead, Councilmember Resendez.
Thank you, Mr. Villa. When this came forward, it was because there was one constituent that was on that street that was talking to all the neighbors. I just was hoping that we can just reach out to her. If it's not too hard or too much trouble for the staff, can we just like find who she was and let her know where we're at with that? Because I couldn't find her name in my phone.
Yeah, I believe she filled out a speed hump request form too, but that street doesn't qualify, so we can work with the engineering department. They would have had that application.
Yeah,
I don't remember her name off the top of my head, but we should be able to pull that app.
I mean, I just think if we could just let the public know, because oftentimes they reach out to us and they don't know how the process works, how long it works as far as the funding and whatnot. So if we could just go back and let her know, it seems like she's a strong advocate for her community there. And I just think that it's important for us to circle back and touch bases with her and let her know. And then if we can, you said it here in the presentation, but I just think also, again, it's important for people to know that we're still trying to secure funding, mostly for the infrastructure is what I heard. We're going to apply for the grant to do the surface exterior safety, I don't know what you want to call them, alterations, right? But we still need to secure funding because the infrastructure underneath is very old, but it's cost efficient to do both of those at the same time. So again, I just want, if we can let that person know, and for anybody else watching to know that we do hear you, we do move, but it takes time to get all of these things done and to make sure that they're going to fit in the best way for the city and the tax-paying citizens. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Other questions or comments?
I
Go
just have a
ahead,
quick
Vice Mayor.
comment. I have to say that this option 3 with the left-hand either way center lane to vehicle traffic lanes and then parking on each side makes a lot more sense on Main Street than it does on Memorial. Memorial did have 4 lanes, and I know it's certainly a lot safer for pedestrians, and I'm a pedestrian. I ride my bike down Memorial probably 4 times a week, maybe 5. But it was a 4-lane road, and it's sometimes hard to get around town, and that road did have a lot of vehicle traffic that was getting a little bit quick, but I just feel like this makes way more sense than Memorial. I liked using Memorial as a way to get around town, and it just makes a lot more sense in this situation.
Okay, thank you, Vice Mayor. Other questions? Okay, I have no questions. Let me check in. Do you have any speaker cards on this item?
There are no speakers for this item.
Okay, so I'm looking forward to the next presentation in October. I mean, whenever there's a way that we can increase public safety, that's always great for us. I think the one thing that I would like to hear during that presentation, if you're able to, is to give a little bit of more information about the feedback from the public that you've heard or that the city has received related to this item. I know sometimes when we do things that maybe will slow down drivers a bit in an effort to be more safe, that people don't always like it. And sometimes we get comments around that, but I just always want people to know that we will always prioritize safety over inconvenience for people. So hopefully people will understand that that's the purpose of it. But when you come back, William, if there's any information about the feedback that you've received or the city has received in general about this.
Okay,
Yeah, that'd be
I can
great.
do that.
All right, thank you. Look forward to the October's
Thank you.
presentation. Thank you. Okay, so we're moving on, and we pulled, so 9.3 is being postponed until our October 20th meeting. So we're gonna move on to 9.4, a resolution approving a 5-year loan from Sewer Expansion Fund, Fund 661, to General Fund Fund 101 to repay historic negative fund balances in funds 206, 229, 241, 249, and 709. So can we have a staff report, please?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So this evening, I put together a brief presentation on the item. So the consideration of a 5-year loan, as you mentioned, from the Sewer Expansion Fund to the General Fund to repay historic negative fund balances. So as way of background, over the past several years, multiple city funds have incurred and sustained negative fund balances due to historical operational deficits and one-time expenditures. So these negative balances have accumulated and remain unresolved. Government accounting standards require that negative fund balances be eliminated in a reasonable time frame. So you can't just leave negative funds on your books. Think of those as separate accounts that are out there. They're different funds for different activities. At your 25-26 budget hearing, the staff discussed the need to address longstanding negative fund balances and received direction to return with a repayment plan. So several funds have been carrying negative balances starting between 2017 and 2022. Those are funds 206, which is a local transportation fund, 229, which is the 4th of July Rally Fund. You do see a note there that the dollar amounts that we'll be talking about this evening were from 2017. Fund 241, that is the SAFER grant. Fund 249, that is the COVID-19 expenditures. And then Fund 709, that's the Light and Landscape District. So the general fund cannot eliminate these balances in 1 year without significantly disrupting services throughout the city. So for example, with the Light and Landscape District, that is one you approve every year. It is a predecessor to the CFDs and does not have an inflationary impact on it. So basically that revenue stream stays static, but the costs continue to rise. So with your budget this year, we had the estimated costs, we had the estimated revenue, and then there's a general fund transfer in to balance that out. Now with the CFDs, you have an inflation effect on them, which helps to offset those. But if we were to go through, the total amount that we're bringing forward today is $2,040,000. If that were to be one transfer in one budget year, that would be, it would significantly impact service delivery. So an interfund loan, that provides the mechanism to bring these funds into compliance while spreading the repayment obligation across 5 years and provides the most responsible and feasible path to resolution. So the funds I mentioned earlier, Fund 206, this has been negative since 2022. We've done work in these funds to close out and get to where there's a final balance. Majority of that was from various engineering charges. So they're expenses that you've incurred in the past. We just need to bring the general fund in to true those up. Again, I mentioned on the rally side, this is for prior to the 2025 rally. This has been sitting on your books since 2017. For Fund 241, the SAFER grant, there's a remaining balance of $548,513. That was in the $700,000 range prior to when the grant closed, but there was an adjustment as part of your 2021 audit that reduced that using $164,000 of general fund. As for your COVID-19, when I first brought this to you, it was about $220,000 higher than this. We have worked hard with Cal OES, who oversees the FEMA dollars. They have closed out those funds, but we were able to secure, and we got the check a few weeks ago, $219,000. We did work with Congresswoman Lofgren's office to help push that along. So a thank you to her team. They were very helpful in that. So that leaves a final balance of just under $523,000. And then lastly, I mentioned the Light and Landscape District, and that's at $609,000. So a total loan amount of $2,040,356.46. So the proposed loan, the sewer expansion fund does have the capacity to cover this. And it has an estimated balance of $28.7 million. So by formalizing this loan, it will not compromise the ability to meet any future obligations. It will eliminate historic negative balances across 5 funds. It will ensure compliance with state and local financial reporting requirements and establish a clear repayment plan supported by the general fund. It also helps to avoid significant service delivery disruptions. The proposed loan will, and it's a requirement, it will accrue interest at the August LAIF rate. LAIF is the state's local investment pool that you can place your money into to earn interest. And so we usually benchmark that against the state. So think of it could be on deposit with the state earning interest. However, it's being loaned, so the fund should pay the other fund back at an interest rate. And so that is currently 4.258%. The repayment of this will occur annually over a 5-year term, with the first payment in fiscal year 26-27 on September 1st. And that will be at $461,646.30, and that's inclusive of principal and interest. Our budget policies are included in our annual budgets, and there is a section that allows for interfund loans. It's called the interfund loan policy. And that permits these with council approval, and then the caveat that the loan is properly accounted for. We did include an amortization schedule. There's some rounding that goes on in there, but that shows you how, just like with your car or with your home, you're paying more interest in each year, or that you pay the highest interest in year 1, and that comes down, and you can see your balance there. And I put together, and Sean, if you could help me out by reducing some of these items that are blocking the images here, that would be helpful for the council. Maybe just shrink that to 1 there. Perfect. So just an example of how this worked, and I'm going to use the COVID fund to kind of just illustrate. So with COVID, you had a pandemic, an emergency declaration is issued. With that emergency declaration, that could be an earthquake, that could be a hurricane. FEMA will authorize the emergency and say that there will be allowable expenses to be paid, and they publish their rules. So in this case, the city sets up a fund, Fund 249, which is a new fund. You set up a new fund as part of your impact fee study earlier this evening for animal control. It's a new activity, so you're creating a new fund, a new bucket to track those expenditures. So COVID-related activities and expenditures are billed to that fund with the assumption that FEMA would completely reimburse it. And this happens often with emergencies, right? FEMA says they approve or reject based on eligibility expense and proper backup documentation. So after FEMA reimburses the city for all allowable and documented expenses, that balance remains. So now you've spent X amount of dollars, they've reimbursed, but they've reimbursed less than you've spent. So you need then to true that fund up and make it a 0 and close it. The pandemic's over. To do that, the general fund for this account, and we're talking about, or this fund, would transfer over $522,000. So if you take that, and Sean, if you could make it so I can advance the slide, please. Thank you. So just an illustration, Fund 661 loans the general fund, the $2,040,000, and then immediately disperses to those 5 funds the amount that's in your resolution. And then for the next 5 years, the general fund pays back to Fund 661 $461,000. And the fund over those 5 years will earn an additional $268,000 of interest. So by doing that, you have trued those funds up, and it is just one more step in your path to fiscal sustainability, and it was one of the items that we discussed during your budget hearing. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you for that staff report. Any questions from go ahead, Councilmember Resendez.
Thank you. I've asked you this several times, but I'm going to ask you again. When this council was sat here in November, would you have considered the City of Hollister finances to be healthy?
No.
Thank you for that. So I wanted to ask you that, and then I wanted to let you know that, or you had mentioned of it as well, right? But I just want to go ahead and reiterate that this was something that you had worked with this council in order for part of what we did together in order for us to get to a healthy financial state for the City of Hollister, correct?
Yeah, this is one step. We framed it, and as part of the discussion, it was to original discussions were to actually have this debt service in this year, but to avoid service disruptions, the direction was to bring it back with the basically for consideration, and this would allow those payments to begin in the next fiscal year.
Thank you. And then you made mention of it as well, but I just want to make sure we're very clear so that nobody tries to spin it. The debt for the Hollister Biker Rally was not for this year that's being repaid. It's from 2017 that was never taken care of. Is that correct?
That is correct,
All right.
and I have mentioned that in previous meetings. So that is very clear, and I wanted to notate that. It's in the staff report as well as, I think, twice in the presentation.
And I appreciate that, and this is why we're going to miss working with you, Dave. But I just wanted to, again, reiterate those points so that nobody can twist and turn this when it goes public. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Questions, comments on this side? Okay, well, thank you for that. And then, Dave, can I just ask one other question? Can you give like a real life sort of comparison to what this would be like if in somebody's personal finances? What in essence is this doing? Because it looks like this is like something that's just been sitting there. I kind of, when I thought about this, like something that's just nagging at me, like a student loan, for example, that took me a while to pay off, but it was like kind of lingering there in the back of my head, and when it was finally paid off, I was so thrilled. But can you talk a little bit about, in terms of real life, like our personal lives, like what would be, what is this currently, and what will it be like to be able to pay this off in 5 years?
Okay, so picture that you have, let's say, 3 bank accounts, and you have a checking account that allows you to overdraw. So you go to the mall and you spend money, and you had, by the time your trip to the mall's over, that bank account is negative $250. So the bank's not just going to let you sit there at negative $250, but you have another bank account. And that bank account would then loan it to pay back, right? So you're loaning yourself money. You have money in another bank account that has allowable uses, one of which is to do an interfund loan. So you're loaning yourself from one bucket to another, which is an allowable use, because you're never going to have the opportunity to regenerate and pay off that negative account because it's not earning any more revenue. So it's just sitting there as a negative. You have to pay it off, and but you have another pot of money that you can use. So you're basically loaning yourself money, and the general fund is the go-between, because the general fund continues to gain revenue every year. So it has a way to pay itself back. So
Okay, good.
I'm not sure that was the best example, but
yeah,
I mean it's just
it sounds like you have an IRA, for example, and then you can loan yourself money from your IRA or a deferred comp account,
correct,
so that you can pay something. So yeah, it sounds like that to me. So that I think that gives like a personal real life example that might make it easier to understand.
You have an IRA, a savings account, and a checking account.
Mm-hmm.
The checking account is negative. You have no way of, it's not making any more money. Your IRA is loaning your savings account. Your savings account pays off the checking account, and now your savings account every year is given back to your IRA.
Yeah, thank you for that. And then can you just tell us and the public, especially the connection between taking this action and the current auditing process, as well as any like credit rating that might result from that?
Yeah, so as we're going through the audit and that they're wrapping that up in the next handful of weeks. They were on site gathering, they're going through the final transactions. So what happens is they look at all of those things, those become write-ups. They become audit findings, carrying negative balances, or simply not closing a fund that's not being used anymore. And so all of those items go into how many findings you have, your low risk auditee determination. That has impacts on your ability to get grants, that has impacts on credit score and your ability to issue debt and at what rate you would issue debt. So all of these things are very important. And so to just leave them out there is basically a sign to those that you may someday in the future want to issue debt. They're going to look and say, is this person, credit worthy? And these are some of the areas that they look at. They would look at why do you have a negative fund balance for, the pandemic? Why do you have a negative fund balance for something that hasn't seen any activity in 5 years? That becomes difficult to answer. And so what you're doing is you're taking that and addressing it. You're putting those back to either zero or a healthy place, because some of these will still continue to be used. But what you're doing is you're allowing those to be closed out. So you would be able to close out the fund on the safer side, on the COVID-19, and then if you get another grant on the safer side in the future, you can always use that fund. Light and landscaping, that will always be in existence, but it'll be balanced. And then local transportation, that is used as well. So what it does is it really puts you back onto stable footing with these and shows that you have a plan in place to address those and to pay those back. But if you did it all in one shot to come up with $2 million out of the general fund, especially in the tight, our budget was extremely tight this year. Yeah. So you would be making some serious service decisions. Yeah. So in looking at this, you do have a lot of one-time expenses this year that were considered in the budget. And so as those one-times are handled in this year, your obligation in the future years is offset by that, because you're already making one-time contributions in a similar fashion. So your budget is accommodating of a number like this already. So when you go into the next year, it's taking the place of that, the one time. You take for example, the permit at the landfill for $300,000, like those types of things. So.
Okay, good. Yeah, well, I appreciate, again, reiterating that Councilmember Resendez's comments about appreciating your ideas and your ways of approaching some of these complicated fiscal things that we have on our books as we are trying to shore up the fiscal health of the city. So thank you so much. I mean, this is only possible for us when we have the kind of manager that can dig deep. So appreciate that. We will miss that. We hope that our next manager will have as much of financial ability and skills as you have had, so that we can continue to make these really good fiscal decisions together. So thank you so much for that. Okay, I'm gonna turn it over to City Clerk. Do we have any public comment cards on this item?
No comments for this item.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, so I need to entertain a motion for this one now. Councilmember Resendez?
Thank you. I think it needs to be said publicly. I'm going to say it again. The last city council left us to inherit a deficit of millions and millions of dollars. A lot of things took place that caused that. One of the things was they redid the general plan that was already done. They increased the discretionary funds and they gave out hundreds of thousands of dollars. They increased their travel time. They increased their salaries. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So I just want to remind my colleagues and our staff, the staff that works with us, that we need to be very responsible so we don't end up back there. We have to be cautious of these one-time funds. And I know that at your lead that we were doing that, and I know that with my colleagues here that we were doing that, but I'm going to ask the administrators and all the staff to please be cognizant of that. But this is a very, very important step to bring us back into a healthy city fiscal environment, and I appreciate that at your lead that you brought this to us. And with that, I will go ahead and make a motion to approve the item. Mayor Stevens, thank you.
Okay, and can I get a second?
I'll second.
And all those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, no opposing. Okay, so we're going to move on. So now we're at the time of our agenda for committee assignments. So anybody have anything to report since our last meeting? Anything?
Last
Mayor
Wednesday
Vice
was the Association of Monterey Bay Area Governments meeting. We had a special, so wasn't able to attend, so nothing to report on my end.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And same. I was there. I had to be in Sacramento. Didn't make it back to LABCO. However, what I'll just report is that we still need some public interest on the public representative position with LABCO. So any interest, there's information through LABCO and the city and county to apply for that. So encourage anybody who's interested to do that. And that's all I have to report. Okay, so we'll move on from there. City manager report.
Before you get there, on 10.2, you have the council request for future
sorry,
agenda
I
items.
just skipped right over that, and that's my request. Okay, yeah. So I have a request for future items to look at the hotel incentive program that we currently have on our books, and I want to have a discussion that we look at it to see if it needs any updating, as well as some stuff that's happening with the county and San Juan Bautista, to see if we want to consider some language that fully aligns that. So that's the reason why I want that item on the agenda. So can I get thumbs up if you agree to bring it forward? Okay.
I agree.
Okay, so we're going to bring that forward. Okay, now it's city manager report. Thank you.
All right, so I will have a report, and I'd like to say a few words, as this will be my last meeting.
No, you're not allowed to. Okay, go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
So first, I'd like to just announce, and we'll be putting it out on our social media through Parks and Rec Department, that through some work with the departments and through some one-time vacancy savings, Director Charles Wall will be working to bring the winter indoor basketball leagues back, so stay tuned for that. And just earlier today, I was able to sign the Junior Giants agreement for the upcoming season. So registration starts in the spring. The dates aren't announced yet, but it's usually towards the end of June for summer ball. So wanted to put that out there. Very, very proud of the work that Director Wall's doing to make that happen. And then lastly, I prepared a few remarks, if you don't mind. I appreciate that. So, good evening, Mayor and Council. As I sit before you today in my final week as City Manager, I'm filled with gratitude, pride, and optimism for what lies ahead. It's been an honor of a lifetime to serve in this role, and I want to take a few minutes to reflect, give thanks, and offer encouragement as you continue the work ahead, important work ahead. First and foremost, I want to recognize our City Council. Thank you for entrusting me with this responsibility and for providing steady guidance and support during both challenging and rewarding times. Your collective leadership has made it possible for this organization to take meaningful and difficult steps towards long-term fiscal sustainability. While the road ahead may be challenging, I'm hopeful that the ongoing efforts underway, including those that were advanced this evening, will endure. With steadfast fiscal discipline and a clear focus on the economy, our city will continue to rise, persevere, and achieve new milestones together. Now, when people refer to the city, it can sometimes sound like they're talking about a faceless institution. In reality, the city is made up of your neighbors, friends, and fellow community members who have chosen public service as their career. City staff are people who deeply care about this community as they live here, raise their families here, and want the very best for our residents. And so to our dedicated staff, I cannot thank you enough. You are the heart of the organization. Day in and day out, which is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you provide high-quality municipal service that our community relies on. Your tireless commitment, often behind the scenes and without fanfare, ensures that residents receive the care, safety, and support they deserve. Please know how deeply impressed I am with your professionalism and resilience. To our department heads, I encourage you to stay the course. Balancing tight budgets while maintaining service delivery is no small task, but you have the skills, the creativity, and determination to keep the organization strong. The challenges we face are not new, but you've already shown that with discipline and collaboration, progress is possible. Your leadership makes all the difference, and I appreciate your partnership over the years. To the community and the residents we serve, you are why we exist. Thank you for your trust, for your engagement, and for holding us accountable. Every day, our employees work to balance ever-changing state and federal laws, increased service demands, and limited financial resources. Their intentions are to protect public safety, maintain essential services, and ensure that our community remains safe, thriving, and a welcoming place for everyone. Please know that our staff approach their work with integrity, professionalism, and a genuine commitment to the welfare of the community and its residents. And finally, I'd like to thank my wife and my family. Their selfless commitment and sacrifices they have made allowed me to dedicate the time and energy necessary to this position and to the city in which I was raised. Every night, every weekend at work, every missed moment, they've stood by me, carried the extra weight, and I certainly could not have served in this role without them. Thank you again for the opportunity to serve. It's been truly an honor.
Yeah, well, that makes it real, Dave. So thank you for those beautiful words. And I'm going to give each one of us an opportunity to just say a few words as we get to come to your last city council meeting with us. So I'm just going to see who wants to say any words. Vice.
I don't mind kicking it off.
Okay,
because
go
I think
ahead,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
Steal a lot of everybody else's thunder when I say this. Well, maybe not everybody else's, but I just want to say thank you, David, because you know I'm a rookie at this whole politics thing, and you've explained certain things every time we go through the agenda review. You explain things in a way that I can understand, so I can make the right decision. We can make the right calls up here. You've been super supportive. The way you managed the biker rally was incredible. The way you've stewarded this city through this financial time, I thought it was graceful. It was deft, and it's been an honor and a privilege to work with you. And I just want to say it ain't so. I just wish that you were sticking around. But thank you for all you've done so far. You've done a fantastic job. I'm so proud of you. I think Hollister is as well. And like Council Member Resendez said, we don't know what the future holds, and we don't know when these meandering paths will bring us back together. But hopefully, it's sooner rather than later.
Thank you for that. Councilmember Resendez or Councilmember DeAndra, go ahead.
Well, Dave, I know we've all told you, I think, numerous times how much we appreciate you. We've enjoyed working with you, even though for us it wasn't very long. It was cut short, but yeah, I just want to say thank you so much, and for all your patience and grace and leadership and your guidance towards this process, as this has been new for the three of us. So I respect you so much, and I've enjoyed every moment working with you, and I just want to thank you, and good luck on your next chapter. Thank you.
All right. Well, if memory serves me correct, Mr. Marioni, you did not come to the city of Hollister to work as a city manager. You came here as an assistant city manager, and then you stepped up to the plate when Hollister and the council needed you to serve in your hometown, mind you, as a city manager. I remember the day that you and your wonderful wife, Sandra, walked in here. And you were hired as the assistant city manager that day. I remember that very clearly. I said it before. I'm going to say it again. I was new here once too, guys. So we all learn and we all grow in this position. The people who I think are the ones that, and Mr. Marioni said that take the biggest burden of us being public servants. And being in the public eye is your family, your kids. So I appreciate you pointing that out. I want to thank your children and your wife for letting you help us and to serve in that capacity, because not everybody sees how you get pulled away, especially when you're in a position like yours, from your other duties in life, right? And those are very important responsibilities as well. But it's something that we all do, I think, because we have a calling for a life of service. We all do that. And if you don't do that, then you probably won't be in this capacity for very long. And I've seen that in you. Just thank you for your service. I'm going to miss working with you. We've had some challenging times, and the position that you're in, it's not because it was any fault of your own. You take direction just like everybody else in bureaucracy from the top down. But the minute that you had a supportive team at the top, you kicked it into high gear. You got things done that I think the public was asking for. And even before that, you put together in the staffing a team that was going to help our city to succeed and overcome any obstacles and any challenges. So thank you for that. I'm going to miss everything about working with you, how you pay attention to the details. And I just know that whatever you do when you leave us, you're gonna do great things over there. I wish you would stay with us. So best of luck to you, and we'll see you around. Thank you so much.
Yes. So I will end this with saying, again, huge thanks. I'll just let the public know, whoever is listening, that at the especially December, January, actually even November, right after the election, Dave did a lot of hand-holding for the three of us up here, us newbies, and the transition into this position this area of service that we do at the dais is not easy if you've never done it before. And you had three of us, three newbies, and you helped get us on some solid footing where even though we all hate to see you leave, I feel more confident now with the ability to move forward because of all the support, all the help, all the guidance that you gave to us, and your wealth of knowledge and your skill, your capacity to just work with your staff, all of us, the community, our partners in the county and the state and others. You just have an incredible knack for this. I really, really appreciate that. It would not, I don't know if it would have been possible for us or I'll just speak for myself, for me to feel as confident as I am now doing this if I hadn't had your support and your guidance at the beginning of our tenure here. So thank you so much for giving us that solid foundation. So as we move forward, we feel like we know a little bit more about what we're doing in this position. So thank you for that. I wish you all the best. The County of Merced is very fortunate to get you. And I also want to thank your family, because I know that you worked endless hours and were available almost 24/7 for us. So that is not always easy on a family. So thank you to them. But thank you for all your hard work and your dedication. And just remember that I am your mayor. This is your representative. So you can call us whenever you have any gripes. We will be here to support you and your family as best as we can. And so thank you so much, and good luck with everything. We appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, on that heavy note, we are going to move into closed session. So City Attorney, can you read the closed session items, please?
Yes. The first item, closed session pursuant